You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Hi, we are live, Greenie Sports Cards live. I am not Jeremy Levine, but I am Greenie. And we are on location at the Mitchell's Ice Cream here in Solon, Ohio. Cleveland State is hosting their Hoops and Scoops. And we apologize if you can't really hear. We're kind of working with, some mics, some background noise, and we're going to do our best to try to bring you a show here. There are representatives from Cleveland State men's and women's basketball. The lacrosse coaches here. I see a couple other tennis coaches is represented here. Colby Maples, the former Horizon League Player of the Year, is here, and a couple men's basketball players. I see Sarah Early. So we have a pretty fun show tonight. We're going to talk to Joe Wysmierski of Phoenix Sports Cards about some hobby news. We're going to have Mike Milbourn on from Vintage Cardboard Collectibles, and we're going to talk a little vintage cards about the National before we grab Coach Kielsmeier, and we'll talk a little bit of National with him. Maybe we'll see if we can get Coach Summers on and try to run into Colby Maples here. So we're looking forward to a week. We will be 1 week from today. We'll be setting up our booth at the National Sports Collectors Convention in Rosemont, Illinois, booth 1338. So the show will be from Wednesday 30th till Sunday, August 3rd. So what a packed show it's going to be. There'll be probably 150,000 people throughout the weekend from Wednesday afternoon. I think it opens, I want to say 3-4 o'clock. You'll have to go to the Nationals website, but man, it's going to be something. If you have never been there before, you should definitely make a trip. There's nothing better than the National. 600 booths, vendors from all over the world, really. This is the 45th one. I mean, it's been going on since I've been 5 years old. If you tuned in last week, I turned 50 this week. So this show's been going on just as long as I've been alive. So we can't wait to be there. And we're going to start off here. We're going to bring Joe W. in. We'll talk a little hobby news. There's been some stuff going on in the hobby, more so than new products. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but there was a huge raid for autographs, and maybe Joe can shed a little bit of light on that. So why don't we bring in Joe, do a little hobby news before we bring in Mike from Vintage Cardboard Collectibles, and we'll see how this works. Haley is here on location, just so you know. So we're pulling out all the stops for tonight to see if we can make this work.
Oh, when you're that stuff works.
Yeah. And okay. I can read your lips, and you said, "What's up, Greenie?" So you'll be able to hear me ask you, what is going on with this autograph thing?
So, Greenie, it's the big elephant in the room right now as far as the memorabilia scam. What's been going on? There was a gentleman who sold under the business name Mr. Man Cave, and there were quite a few forged or unauthentic items that were sold. Hundreds of thousands items. I mean, in some cases, people are talking high numbers in the millions of dollars in memorabilia. And then the person who did a post with, I guess, what he had done, confessing his sins, I guess, and unfortunately he decided to take his own life. But this has been, it's been really big over the span of a week here with the hobby, and it's nothing that anyone should be taking lightly. It does put a little stain on the hobby, but going forward, I think people are going to be more aware and more conscious and more educated to ask the necessary questions to understand the items that they are purchasing and to check the background information. Ultimately, they were making a lot of items that had these holograms, and the holograms have numbers, and in some cases they have QR codes, and people will just buy items without checking it. And what essentially happened was they were able to forge a lot of these items and the actual authentication stickers, and that led us to where we are now.
Hear you pretty well. So now you can hear me. Are we trying to make a little headway? What an incredible story, Joe. I know a lot more is going to come out, but we really just wanted to get the gist of that before we moved into some of the hot items that are going on. We'll save the rest of that for another show. We just needed to at least get that out, right?
Yeah. I know Mike and Jesse also on the sports card nonsense. There we go. We got the Viking there. We got the Viking. They had another individual on their podcast that just came out yesterday or today that also spoke about some issues with an authentication company. So, the negative stuff, it'll be there, but moving forward, we don't want it to stay in the national, right?
Yeah, no question. No question. So
Donruss Elite Football, which is releasing, it did get pushed back, and I don't know necessarily why they decided to do that, because they're going head to head with Topps Chrome Baseball this week. Two different sports, but if you're looking to spend and you're on a budget, Topps Chrome is going to take a lot of that budget this week. Donruss does give you the opportunity to receive. There we have our Viking. It does give you the opportunity to receive on-card autos of the rookies and the pen pal autos. So that is cool with Donruss. But I do, Ray at the shop here gave us the opportunity. I want to show you a couple of things. So Topps Chrome. This is the big thing. We have hobby boxes of Topps Chrome. Then we have jumbos. Okay. So the hobby boxes, 1 autograph per box. The jumbo, 3 autographs per box. There's another SKU. It's called Breaker's Delight. It is essentially the same type of product as jumbo with just less base cards. So it's basically a product with just all hits. The other SKU that we have that I want to show you is we do have blasters. So I'm going to open up. We'll take a couple looks here of some blasters that I have. And in pack number 1, we have a Christian Yelich. And then it looks like we have a Xavier Edwards. We have a Ray Wave of Alex Bregman. And then a Tiger Justin Henry Malloy rookie. We'll see another pack here. And the cards they're super sharp, Greenie. You're looking at 4 cards per pack in the blasters here. We'll see what else we have. We have a Tyler Stevenson. Then we have a Fortune. Dude, how about that? James Wood. That's a sharp-looking card. That is a guy you are looking for in this product. That is a cool card. James Wood. We have an Ezekiel Tovar Ray Wave. Nice card. And then we have a Will Warren rookie. So again, showing the product off, doing a little demonstration. This is out of a value box. So they're blasters, but Topps, we changed it to value box. So this is a Topps Chrome value box we are taking a peek at here. Let's see. We'll do another couple of packs here to show you what they look like. We have, oh, there you go. There's your guy. Emmanuel Clase. Then we have a Jack Horowitz rookie. Looks like you're getting one Ray Wave per pack, an Andrew Benintendi Ray Wave. Oh, there we go. We have two here. We have a Paul Skeens Rookie Cup. A little Skeens action. And a Logan Gilbert, and I believe this is a negative. This is going to be a negative Logan Gilbert. Again, these are value boxes. You'll definitely have the opportunity to get them at a more affordable price. I am not sure where they're going to hit the market. It could be anywhere from, I'm going to guess, $40 to $45. You have an Adley Rushman. We have an Edgardo Henriquez rookie. How about Masataka Yoshida refractor? Sorry for the mispronunciation. We have a Ben Rice rookie. No autos are guaranteed in the value boxes, but you can get them. And then we have a Miguel Vargas. The other thing that you're looking to chase is the very famous artist, Japanese artist. He did a bunch of cards in the Japanese Series 1 version, the Floral. They had like it was a separate product, I believe, that came out. But these cards are numbered to 3. If you pull them, they're going to be worth quite a bit. Jeremy Pena. Josh Lowe. Spencer Strider. Looks like a hyper. Corey Seager. Here we go.
So Joe, who is the major rookie that we're looking? If you said it, I might not have heard it. Is there a major rookie?
But Jacob Wilson. Those are guys that we're looking for. James Wood, Jacob Wilson, Dylan Cruz. There may be some short prints like Cam Smith for the Astros was a short print in Series 2. We're looking for that too. Also, we have Seth Lugo.
It's probably not this product, but there are products because we just had Cleveland State mascot Magnus come by. Isn't there a product that has mascot cards? I know I've seen Slider, the Guardians mascot.
Celebration. Top Celebrations is what had that. That's where James from the shop hit the Baxter 1 of 1.
And he was able to go down to the field. Yeah. Yeah.
Nestor Cortez.
Prism Football a couple years ago did some mascot cards because I have a Brutus the Buckeye.
Pack here, Greenie. We'll take a peek here. So it looks like, I mean, you're getting a Ray Wave per pack. It looks like we have some color here too. So we have a Harrison Bader. We have a Kyle Schwarber. A Garrett Crochet. Okay. Not bad. Not color, or it's not numbered. It is a purple Ray Wave of Francisco Lindor. Actually, that is numbered on the front there to 250. Numbered to 250. And then a Alec Burleson negative. So, super cool product. Very clean looking. Topps Chrome. Again, in the blaster box. I mean, you're getting So you're getting 4 sepia. That's not a negative. It's sepia parallels inside. I mean, for the most part, Steve, you're getting quite a few cards. You're getting 28 total cards in a pack. They are the chrome based. Super clean. Pretty cool.
My guess is at the National, Joe, these cards will probably be used for some sort of pack redemption that Topps probably has going on. I know Panini will have tons of pack redemptions, and people can go to Steel City like we had Sean Bennett on a couple weeks ago and purchase their packs, rip them, take their wrappers, and whatever. I'm sure you'll probably participate in something like that. You like to rip a couple boxes here and there, and this will be your first National.
We all know how I feel about card shows, so this will be really exciting. I'm honestly more excited to see the different types of peanut butter and jelly that you will have on hand in your booth. And your booth was 1338, correct?
That's right. And I can promise you there will not be grape jelly. I am not a grape jelly fan. I'm not.
I might have known.
Your own grape jelly. I like blackberry. I like a blackberry.
Jelly.
It's fine. Some people like strawberry. Mike likes, and we'll bring him on. We'll ask him what kind of jelly he likes. But yeah, it'll be fun. Peanut butter and jelly all week long. It's easy. It's easy to do in the booth.
You're right there at the ice cream shop. What is the best flavor that you hear people coming out eating?
I saw some chocolate with sprinkles. That's what one of the young kids was having. I'm going to probably get coffee chocolate chip when the show's over. Yeah. You can tell me that later. It's fine. It was, yeah, either way. Good. So, Joe, we want to say that the hobby news that you gave was presented by Collectibles on SI and supported by Sports Cards Nonsense. And we have a new show, Cut the Nonsense, which does premiere Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on the Sports Cards Nonsense YouTube channel. So look for Joe, Danny Black, Mike Gio on Cut the Nonsense Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And if you're in Pacific time, Joe, what is that?
And we will be in the chat responding, constantly. So make sure you're interactive in there. We appreciate the follows and the likes. We appreciate the opportunity. Also, you can find the Bird, Phoenix Sports Cards, 59th and Thunderbird in Glendale, Arizona. Follow us at phxsportscards.com and at PHX Sports Cards on Instagram. And we appreciate you, Greenie. Booth 1338. I'll be there next.
I will see you in 8 days, Joe. Thanks, buddy. See ya. That is Joe W., or it was Joe W., because he's not on anymore. But that was Joe W. from Phoenix Sports Cards and Cut the Nonsense, who brings us hobby news every week. And a lot of hobby news came this week. Before we get to Mike, we'll say later on in the show, I have a special guest host with me, Kyle Rossi from the Horizon. You've read some of his articles. We've had a few that he's written with us about NIL and about some of our shows like the Broadview Heights. So really cool stuff. We'll get to that, Kyle, and we'll have Coach K on and Colby. And we'll try to grab a couple players and coaches. But now we're going to have another special guest with the National, one of our vendor spotlights, Mike Milbourn, who's done the show. I know it's the 45th. He's pretty old. He's probably done it 50 times. But Mike Milbourn, whose booth is really right next to ours. So we get to see Mike and Vintage Cardboard Collectibles. And if you're looking for vintage cards, if you're looking to fill sets, Mike has it. So we're going to bring him on. We're going to talk a little vintage cards and what people can expect to see and kind of what the vintage hobby is doing right now. I mean, there's, a lot of things are happening with the new cards, right? And they go up and down every day with all these new things. And then we're going to hear a little bit about what the vintage market is. So let's bring in Mike, Haley. Oh, Mike. Mike's all clean shaven, ready for the national. Mike, ready for the
I do my best. I do my best.
You do your best. So uh, he's thirsty. He's thirsty. He's very, very
Sorry,
thirsty. He's very, very parched. Listen, so Mike, what number national is this for you?
So I'm thinking here, everyone since 2005. So I guess can't do that math in my head that quick, but like my whatever 22nd, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
almost half. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot. You saw back in the early 2000s. You went out to Anaheim. The last couple years has been nothing like we have ever seen with all cards, new cards, vintage cards. What do you expect, coming up this year?
I think probably be more of the same, kind of like the last couple of years. Obviously, last year in Cleveland had a great crowd. The year before that was, in Chicago was crazy. I mean, in all the years I've done it, I've never seen anything like that. I talked to guys that, have been doing it 20 years longer than I have, and they said the same thing. Even back in the heyday, they had some big crowds, but I mean, nothing like that. So I expect the same this year, based on ticket sales, based on everything you're seeing and hearing. Chicago's kind of the place. Everybody, I think maybe I'm speaking out of turn for some people, but probably the favorite for everybody. So I'm expecting it to be a great crowd and a great show.
In the vintage market is still really strong. People are still building sets, but I really think, and you probably know, and I know you don't do a lot of graded cards, but high-end vintage graded is like nothing we have ever seen right now, right?
Yes. Yeah. You can go on eBay, you can go on Facebook, you can look at auctions, and you can see what things are going for, especially like you said, Steve, higher end stuff. But I also noticed just across the board, even with, the vintage with 50s, 60s stars, even mid-grade, lower grade, you see a lot of that stuff out there too. I think because there's, not everyone can do the higher end stuff. But some people just, want to have it graded to know that it is what it is, regardless of if it's a 2 or a 10. So really across the board, you're seeing it all over the place. And I don't think that's not going away anytime soon. That's for sure.
No, it's not. So it's funny. You watch all the current sports, yet you don't really dabble in any of the new cards at all. How is it that you've just kept the vintage going?
I've always liked the vintage. I've always collected it. So I think I know it probably better than the newer stuff. There's just so much new product out there. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how you guys keep up with it. I know everyone's got a niche. I know, you do a lot of the patch autograph stuff. I feel like as a new guy doing new cards, you kind of have to have a niche. And to me, I'm like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I don't know how you guys do it because it's such a fast changing market. It's just a lot different than the vintage. So, and I don't know. I like the vintage. It's just simpler. It's just, to me, it's easier to deal in. So I think that's what draws me to it too.
Are there still a lot of people building sets? Do you find them coming and sitting down with their list? Is that still a thing?
It is. Actually, especially next week, it will be. But really every show I do, you always have guys that are upgrading or they're starting a new set, or they're just chasing a couple of stars. But I think for me, the good thing I'm seeing now is obviously regular customers at my shows that I do, but younger guys starting to buy from me too. Especially in Philly, I've got some younger guys that are new, that are starting to build sets, that are starting to get into it. So, as a dealer, that's good to see the younger guys kind of getting into it. But it is still something that people are doing. It's the ever-ending quest for, I can upgrade this card and make it better. People love the chase. So
So obviously 52, the iconic set, 52 mantle, everybody says, but what are one of the more popular sets? Like what is a popular set that people like to build?
I would say, at least for me, I sell right now a lot of mid to late 60s, really popular. 68's really popular, 69. I guess even into the early 70s, 70, 71, 72. There's high numbers in those 70s years, but you can find them and they're affordable sets. The low number commons are very cheap, and they're plentiful. You can find them. So at least for me, that kind of seems to be kind of where things are. Probably the most popular years, I'd say like 60, probably 65 up through 72, 73.
So yeah, high numbers are still one of the most popular things that people collect. I know the commons and people do that, but what about Hall of Fame registers? Is that a big deal? People collect just Hall of Famers?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's still a draw for some of the mid 60s Hall of Famers, mid to late 60s. Some of them have jumped in price. I could say even some of the early 60s, but they're still affordable. People can still buy a Hall of Famer, a Hank Aaron for a couple $100 or under a couple $100. So you do have guys that are chasing the Hall of Famers. For me, usually though, it's, they need a first set. They're buying it either because they don't have one or they want a nicer one. Yeah, they're definitely still the chase for the Hall of Famers.
So your booth number, what's your booth number?
1237.
1237, and in the area, and I said, and our booth is right next to yours, and we're near the PSA pavilion, and here we can see it right on the board. When people come to your booth, you'll have a lot of boxes out for commons, so people can come there. What years do you range
from? Early 50s. So I'd say right now, like 55, 56. I have earlier than that, but a good stock of like, say 56 up through really up until 79 or 80. I've restocked. I'll have new 61s. I'm in the process of breaking a set. I'm hoping to get it all finished before next week. New 68s, new 65s. So, quite a bit of new stuff. And then also, 51 through 55 Bowman baseball as well. And, some Fleer baseball as well.
And you are all baseball, correct?
I am all baseball. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that there are dealers that do have everything, baseball, football, basketball, but when I still think of vintage cards, baseball is what comes to mind first. And I think a lot of people are building those sets in baseball. So they can come, they can come and sit at your booth for hours and dig through all of them. And I know that you have backups. You have a lot of multiples of cards. So
yeah, I do.
You'll have showcase cards as well, right?
I will. So I'm guessing at this point, I'm still kind of figuring that out. But I think based on the amount of space I'll have, probably should have out 8 or 9 showcases of stars. That's the plan anyway at this point. So I'll have things laid out. It'll be easy to see them. Normally I don't have this kind of space, but for this show for a week, you bring it and you make it work. So because of the number of eyes that are going to be on your stuff.
And you are all raw cards too. So people are coming to fill sets. You don't have graded cards or anything like that, right?
I don't. I have nothing against graded cards. I'll get sets with graded cards in them. I'll usually run them on Facebook, or I have other dealers that do graded cards and I might flip them to them. I used to do a little of it. And what happened was I'd have a showcase of graded and people would come and they'd ask, well, how come the rest of it isn't graded? And I just finally got, I guess I got tired of answering the question. And most people are coming to me to buy raw anyway. They're not looking for graded. There's plenty of guys out there that have tons of really nice graded cards, really a lot of inventory. So.
Very cool, Mike. Well, we look forward to it. Next week will be madness like no other. The 45th National Sports Collectors Convention, booth 1237, and then ours is 1338. So people can come and get the best of both, vintage and modern, and hang out with us all week. So we look forward to seeing you. I'll see you there on Monday. We'll be setting up.
Yeah. See you on Monday. Looking forward to it. Always great week every year.
Mike, thanks. Everyone come see Vintage Cardboard Collectibles and finish your sets with Mike.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got it. All right. Yeah. So very good. Mike Milbourn, Vintage Cardboard Collectibles. We appreciate that. And Joe W. We're now going to switch a little pace here. We're still going to talk cards, but we're going to bring in two of our special guests. We have Kyle Rossi from the Horizon, and we have Coach Chris Kielsmeier from Cleveland State Vikings, women's basketball, who you've known. Yeah, right. You can see that. We got it? So there's Kyle. But first, we're going to talk a little national. So, Coach, you were at the national last year. What is it like as a customer to walk around that place?
Well, I'll say as a first-time experienced person, I'd never been to it before. It was amazing, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I couldn't believe the kind of things I saw and witnessed, the history that was there. So, if nobody's ever gone to it before and you're a small collector, you don't even need to be a big collector. Just go and walk around and experience the atmosphere and the sights and the history of the sport collectible world is unlike anything that you've ever experienced or unlike anything I'd ever experienced. It's amazing.
You've been to sold out arenas before, but to see something like that where they're collecting everything. I mean, you're in an arena, it's a basketball. They're there for a basketball game, whether they're watching the Final Four or any games. But to see somebody as passionate about all the sports, all the autographs, and I mean, it's pretty amazing, right?
Wow. I don't think you need to be a big fan of sports collectibles to go there and experience a wow type thing. I think most of the people that go there are probably pretty passionate about it, but I think just a very average to minimal sports fan can go there and experience some pretty cool moments just to see the history of it. Just walk around. You don't need to buy anything. Like, I don't know that you can go in there without buying something, but it's pretty remarkable, the stuff that you see.
Yeah. And from cards to autographs. Now, you came because one of the people that you followed growing up was there, and you actually got an autograph, right?
Yeah, Dominique was my guy when I was young, and he came to a local high school that I was at in Iowa, so I got his autograph, had it hanging in my bedroom when I was little, and that had always been a big part of my childhood. And then when I didn't even know the National existed, like I'm not a major sports collectible guy, but you certainly got me back into it pretty big. I was big when I was little, but I kind of got out of it because there's so much to learn and keep up with. But to get to experience Dominique again and you talk to him for 20 seconds. It was pretty cool. And then I got on a flight and went recruiting. That was my day. Like I had to cram in an autograph with Dominique before I went recruiting. That's what we made happen as a staff. So it's pretty cool.
It was. I know you and I, we walked around a little bit, and some of the things that you could see there, from Babe Ruth jersey, his jersey from the called shot and whatever World Series it was there, to Mickey Mantle cards, to Michael Jordan rookie cards. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And there's stuff for everybody. People that collect. You're a Cowboys fan, you're a Cubs fan. So I know that you were walking around looking for those things. But if you can't find it at the National, it probably doesn't exist.
That's well said. Yeah. And it goes so much deeper than cards and autographs. It's used shoes and game tickets from the 1920s. Like it just the amount of history that you can just walk around and see. You're going to find something you were like, oh my gosh, I remember I was at that game, or I remember that moment watching it on TV. And it just takes you back to so much of your past sport life. And it's unlike anything I've ever experienced.
It is. So I know we've talked a lot about cards and how you've come back into it. one of the things we've talked about, and I know this is a Roger Staubach card, but the game used jersey. And one of the things that they say on the back, which is really cool, and I'm hoping that some of these card companies go back to this. It says that this enclosed piece of jersey was cut from an authentic jersey personally worn by Roger Staubach in an official NFL game. So these were the type of cards that were made in the early 2000s that we're hoping that Fanatics brings back. But this is the type of stuff that you like to collect, where they actually tell you that the card is game worn by Roger Staubach.
The history of that, like,
right,
that might have been worn in the Super Bowl. You never know. Like, it's most likely not. It's probably in Canton or somewhere, his Super Bowl jersey. But to me, you just look at that and can think back of the history of the Cowboys and the history of Roger Staubach and think that that's
right.
big a piece of the history, and I got it in my hand. That's pretty cool. I'm a legacy guy. I think about the past a lot. I think about what you want your present, your future to be when you move forward. And to me, cards is just lets you relive those moments. Like, I remember 1981. Dwight Clark and Montana just broke my heart watching that game. I was like 5 years old.
Sure.
And I can still remember being in my parents' living room watching it live. And I was at Tony Dorsett's 99-yard touchdown run. That was on Monday Night Football in '83. I was in the end zone. He ran right at me. That's just a big part of collectibles, is just being able to experience, take you back to a moment at some point in your life and relive it. I think that's pretty cool.
It is. And one of the reasons why we started getting into the trading card space as well and creating the NIL cards, well, we don't have the game worn jerseys, but we're able to make cards of college student athletes now. And there's some teams here, Colby Maples is here, and we made a card of her. And there's kids here that get to actually hold these cards and look up to these women like they're superheroes. And I mean, it's really a cool thing. And I just watching how it's progressing and where these things are going.
Well, I think it's really cool how you've thought outside the box, and you've been on the cutting edge of it from the beginning with it. When you started it with Destiny, and I still remember how we were all at that card show where she had a line outside the door of people wanting her card and stuff. So the creativeness that you all come up with and how you're just ahead of the times is pretty remarkable, and that shows how well you run your company and how much you put into it and how much your people care about it, because it's not something that you have to do, it's something you want to do. You give back to others, and I'll speak for myself personally.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I never thought I'd ever have a card of myself. Like,
that's right.
That kind of thing is kind of cool.
It
I
is.
don't know. Nobody else probably thinks it's cool, but I sure do. So
it is. It's neat. And it's really fun to be able to do these things, and we're going to do it this year. And we'll bring in Kyle. We'll talk a little bit about this year and the team that's going to be here. Colby's returning, Sarah's returning, and there's a lot of new good kids that you have brought in. What can we look forward to this year?
Yeah, well, that's to be determined. I think every day, it's a different era of college athletics. We were stung by the portal more than we've ever been, and kind of unexpectedly. But that's the nature of what college athletics is now, and a lot of programs in the country we're dealing with that. And how do you make your program move forward regardless of what's thrown your way? And that's, we went out and we wanted to build a roster with kids that really fit the system, were great people, but then they were really hungry. They wanted that special year of basketball, wanted to compete for championships, cut nets down. When we say those things to recruits, we've got the pass and the backing to be able to show you why there's a good chance it's going to happen again. And that resonates with players. And so we built a roster that was surrounded by that, good people, players that fit our system, and they were just passionate and hungry about that experience. So, I love this group. I love how much they've poured into each other, try to get to know each other, because, heck, when we all met each other,
that's right.
When we all came together the first time, they're all meeting each other. It's not, we had 3 returners, and everybody's, it's almost like you had to wear name tags, like to try to figure out exactly, who was who from a player perspective, player to player. But boy, they have poured in themselves off the court. And a big part of the success of the summer for me has been what they've done outside of the gym. And we've been great at it. I'm so appreciative of our staff and our players pouring into each other.
I'm going to use a word, you may not like this word, but fun comes to mind, where you get to learn all new people this year. Sans the three girls that came back, but I mean, is it kind of fun getting to learn new players?
No doubt. Once you get over the shock of what it all
Sure.
was, I mean, I don't think it was fun in the middle of April.
No.
But it's definitely, where everybody has a passion and a drive for the game, and we all come together for that. And we have 6 international kids on our roster, so the diversity that we have, and for us to all come into a room and a gym to play the game that we love and coach is pretty special. And yeah, fun is a huge part of our program, and it definitely became fun after the shock of what happened and where this was headed. Once we realized, we'll be fine like we always are, and we'll go put a team together to compete for championships. And I know that we've got a team that will be able to do that this year.
We'll bring in Kyle now, and I know Kyle's been kind of monitoring, what's going on, and the schedule actually just was released today. And I know Kyle went through it, and you actually have some pretty fun games coming up this year, right?
Yeah, the release of the schedule is always an exciting day. So it's cool to be able to publicly release it right before we get on air with you.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good. So yeah, I know Kyle's dying to ask some questions. So we'll turn Kyle loose. He's been waiting for this all day.
I was just going to ask you about the schedule, and I think looking at the schedule, what's your scheduling philosophy generally when you're trying to put together something like this?
Yeah, for one, we want it to be competitive and get ready for conference play. But you and I have talked about this a lot in the past. Is what's the fun on the schedule? Where will they get an experience that maybe is unlike anything else they've been able to experience before? And to be able to go to California the first week of the season and play a game in California is going to be certainly something cool. To go back to Puerto Rico, that was an incredible experience last year. To spend a whole day at the beach, not really worried about basketball in the middle of December is pretty remarkable. And we felt, we've got a lack of returners, so it's going to be new for most everybody. So let's go do that. Let's also remember that the schedule's a puzzle. Like, you got to find people that first want to play you, then you got to find people that want to play you on the dates that you have available. And it's pretty extensive what goes into it. You never feel like you got everything you wanted accomplished, but I feel like we did close to that with the schedule. I think a big piece of it for me that I'm excited about is we return the MTE back to Cleveland. We're hosting that over Thanksgiving week. Got some really great teams coming here that we'll put on a great event, and to be able to be home all that week. And then we've got a lot of home games on the entire schedule, which we haven't been able to get in the past. So
yeah, and that sort of bleeds into what I was just about to ask you: is what do people who come out to the Wolstein Center this year have to look forward to?
Well, I think it's going to be a fun, exciting style like we always play. We're going to defend. We're going to get up in you, force a lot of pressure. We want to turn you over and get our transition game going. I hope with a healthy Colby back on the floor that she's going to be able to kick that offense transition back up into another level that it wasn't at last year, and just spread and make plays. We're going to attack the basket. We shoot as many free throws as anybody in the country every year for a reason. It's the development and the mentality that our players play with. So be simple, defend, rebound, and play fast, but hopefully play efficient. Let's not throw that ball over the place.
You mentioned it already, but I appreciate you sneaking in that off day in Puerto Rico. That was a lot of fun last year.
Yeah, I think that was, for me personally, that was kind of the motivation to go back again. When can you almost shut down the program in December in the ocean?
That's right.
80 some degrees outside and not worry about anything other than just kids go have fun. I'm gonna go have fun. I'm gonna get on the jet ski and go do some things that you never get to experience before. And
yeah, these girls will remember that for the rest of their lives, no matter where their collegiate career takes them. They're going to be able to say they went to Puerto Rico and got to hang out, play basketball, and have fun.
For sure, and it leads right into what we were talking about before when we talked about the national and stuff. Like, life's an experience, and the moment, to me, you're looking for those moments that just carry with you, and you can remember them 20 years ago like they happened yesterday. When you get to experience those types of things, that's pretty cool. Playing in Puerto Rico, winning 2 games was special, but it was the boat ride, it was the jet ski, it was sharing some time with Kyle when we're relaxed and not having to worry about anything. Christy and my parents were there. It's just it's a family experience of just Vikings coming together and having a great time. And so that was a big part of why we went back again. And boy, we're going to enjoy that beach again.
Yeah.
Kind of unrelated, but it's news since the last time I spoke with you. Cleveland got a WNBA expansion team, as I'm sure you're aware. I saw just this past weekend with the All-Star game in Indianapolis, and IU Indy got out and got involved in that in some ways. What does having a WNBA team here in Cleveland mean for your program specifically?
Well, it's simple. It's going to elevate women's basketball to another level in this area. From the time I got here, I wanted our program to be the face of women's athletics in Northeast Ohio, and we've made strides with that. It's not where we want it to be yet. We got a long ways to go with it. But I think that will just elevate it and bring more publicity and excitement to it. But then also let's remember how cool it is for us as just a fan. I can't wait to go to the games. Like, my schedule really doesn't permit me to be able to travel, 5 hours to Indy to see it or whatnot. But when it's here, I'm going to be a huge fan and be going to a lot of games and stuff. So from a personal standpoint, I'm excited about what it does for me to be able to become more of a W fan, and more access is better for the game, and that's what it gives.
Watch out for those people online, though. They're pretty nasty.
Yeah, well, everybody thinks they always know women's basketball, but some do, and others are trying to get up to the level where they need to be.
It is,
and we'll help those people.
That's right.
Come on.
We enjoy it. You obviously know your statistics better than me, but I know last year you said however many times you've made it to the Indy where the postseason tournament is. I don't know how many years in a row it's been, but
six straight,
which has been a pretty remarkable. I don't know that any other school in the Horizon League has made it to 6 straight Indies. We're looking this year for a 7th straight. And I mean, this team that you're building, they'll start to gel. And I mean, I've read some of the reports, I've seen some of the stuff, and I can't wait to see them play.
Yeah, we're the only men's or women's basketball team in the Horizon League that has been to Indy 6 straight years in a row, and it's been there 6 years. So we've been there every year. And for us, we don't want that to be the standard. Unfortunately, we haven't had the kind of success up there that we all have wanted, but there's a reason for that. There's really good teams in this league, and to win it, you got to be that special. You just do. But to be able to be that special, you got to put yourself consistently in a position to be able to get it done. And that's what we've done. And, so, yeah, the goal is the same, to get to Indy and cut those nets down. It'll never change.
Even so, at the end of March last year, I think you were one of 8, 9, or 10 teams still playing at the end of the year in any of the tournaments. So
yeah, to be able to coach a game in April when you talk about your legacy and
that's right.
Things that have been pretty cool for you to experience, there's hardly any coaches can say they've coached a basketball game in April, and our program has done that. And, that was pretty cool for us. And, it'll be forever a part of Cleveland State women's basketball history. And, that's another stepping stone for us. It's always about moving forward. Even if they're not exactly the thing you wanted, we wanted to be in the NCAA tournament, but so does 360 other teams. Like, It doesn't happen for them all. And you just got to find a way to be able to make the best of a situation that maybe didn't go exactly the way you wanted to. And that's exactly what we did last year with getting in a prestigious tournament, making a big run at it, and giving ourselves a chance to win a championship.
And listen, we'll see what happens this year. We have 3 returning players, and we have other girls ready to play. So, we bring Colby back, and you never know what could happen.
Well, for us right now, it's just trying to get better every day and have a lot of fun doing it. It's just, I never let the fun part of it, get away from our program. And it's amazing to work with a staff that thinks like they do. Maybe my ideas aren't that relevant at times to the 20-year-olds, but when you got Hannah and Shelby and, some of the new staff that we've hired, it's always going to be at the forefront of who we are. Go out and have a great time, compete and get better.
Good. Well, Coach, listen, we appreciate your time. We look forward to seeing you at the games this year. And I know I'll be sending you a lot of pictures of cards next week from the National.
Well, I look forward to it. I can't wait. I wish I could be there, but being that, I wish it could come back to Cleveland again, but I know it's probably not with the IX issues. But
yeah, but we'll have a show here for you to come to.
I hope fans will go out to the National and experience it, especially if you've never gone there before, because it's unlike anything you can experience. Be a fan of Greenie and his shows too.
That's right.
There's nothing like them in Northeast Ohio. So I think the National it's its own thing. I think you have your own thing in this area, and that's pretty unique, pretty remarkable. So keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Keep those cards coming my way.
That's right. Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your time. So, yeah, great. We appreciate Coach Kielsmeier sitting with us for a little bit. He was at the National last year, so it's pretty cool. Kyle's still here. We're going to grab Colby. We're going to have a few seconds here and go over a little bit more things that are going on in the Cleveland State program this year. Kyle, you looked, while we grabbed Colby, you looked at the schedule this year. There's some tough games, right?
Yeah. I dropped it right when I was literally on my way here, so I don't know how detailed of an analysis I'll have on it. But yeah, they're like Coach Kate mentioned, they're going out to Cal State Fullerton right at the beginning of the season. That should be a lot of fun. SoCal, Northwestern's another big one. We have Colby just showed up, so I'll let you dive into that one. But it should be a lot of fun going back to Puerto Rico's home.
She was hoping on.
All right. Hey, Colby, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
We're good. The first question is we're going to ask, how's the knee doing?
She's doing good.
Doing good?
Progressing really good.
Good. Very good. We love watching you play, and I cannot wait to see you get back on the court. I know you've been practicing hard. You've been working out. This year brings a lot of new challenges this year, a new team. What's it like getting to learn a new system, a new team that you haven't played with before?
I mean, it's a little different. I mean, usually in the past we'll have like a little more events to kind of like ease the pain a little bit, but it's been a journey for sure. But I think the girls are really adaptable and able to change very well. So I think it's going really good in this phase too.
You were a leader before. You're one of the Horizon League Players of the Year. Now you're the veteran on the team. What is that like? Everybody's looking up to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that like?
I feel like last year was kind of the same thing for me too. But I mean, I had a few other girls that were kind of in that same position. But this year, it's a little different too. Then, especially like trying to balance not being on the court with them, trying to do it from the sideline a little bit too. But I think it's going well. A lot of girls, when they have questions, they come up to me, ask. So I'm there to be a helping hand whenever I can. So I just help in whatever way I can.
That's great. Kyle's here. You know Kyle.
Yeah, I do. I know Kyle.
You know Kyle. Kyle covers the team, and listen, he knows this team probably better than anybody else. So
he may know it better than me.
I'll tell you right up front. One thing I know. I heard you lost a race to Coach K at practice.
Oh my gosh! I kind of. So what happened was when we had the kids camp, he decided to call me out in front of everybody, and I can't let him do that in front of everybody.
That's right.
And he may have crossed the line maybe a little bit before I did, but we kind of keep that on the low side.
His legs are like this long.
I know he took big steps, 3 steps. He was already at the other end already.
So I think one of the kind of the old adages in sports is that like the worse of a player you were, the better of a coach you made. And you're obviously a great player, but you had to sit out a year, not by choice. So what do you learn through that process of kind of having to sit and watch?
You learn how approach really affects everything, like your mental approach to things. Like your mental side can affect the physical side more than you actually think. Like if your mind isn't right, then it affects everything else. It starts from up here, then everything else kind of just flows. So just being able to bring that every day is something that I think really made me what I really got out of my injury.
I talked to Hannah for a story a little while ago. She said you were kind of like her special assistant there for a while.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was fun. It was really different, but I enjoyed my time on the bench. Being able to see things from a different view, learn things from a different perspective. So.
And I heard also, I mean, talk about all these new teammates you have. You helped every single one of them move in, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a busy weekend. Then I was doing my hair too that weekend, so it was a lot going on.
Did they let you out of weightlifting that week or something? I mean, that's a lot of work.
No.
Still had to go to the gym.
Still had to go to the gym. Still had to go to the gym.
So we just had Coach K on, and we were talking about the schedule, and you guys get a chance to go to Puerto Rico. You went last year. You didn't get to play last year, so this year, hopefully you'll be back. But what's it like going on a trip like that with the girls? I mean, is it some like bonding going on as well? And
oh, for sure. Yeah, we went last year. Went to Old San Juan and walked around the area. It was really fun. You learn a lot of different things just from like different adventures and stuff like that. But Coach K did say we're not getting on jet skis this year. I was like, man, I missed that last year. I was hoping I could redo it, but he already vetoed it.
So did he say you guys aren't going on jet skis, but he is?
No, he said the reason we weren't going is because he was sore.
Oh.
So
yeah, he was a mess after
so
that.
I was like, how does that, apply to us?
That's right.
He's sore,
Yeah.
But I respect his decision.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, there's a West Coast trip to California.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the schedule, do you look at things and you're like, man, we get to experience things that we don't normally get to experience because of college basketball?
Oh, yes, 100%. I feel like college basketball and just basketball, period, has taken me so many different places around the states. And it's just amazing, like, all the different things you see just with this one little sport and one little ball you try to put in the hoop. So, it's just a lot of opportunities that you don't even really think about. But, like, when you look back, like, oh, I've already been there. I've been there, so.
Go ahead.
Yeah, excited to have the MT back at home this year.
Mm-hmm.
Spend Thanksgiving playing 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being home for Thanksgiving, that's pretty cool. I know last year you had to travel for it, but so some of the things this year, and I know that you've been practicing a lot. I mean, do you notice some things that are different? And, like, it's going to be a totally different style this year, right?
Yes, but Coach K is a man that he likes the way he likes it his
come
way.
on, Green, you know better than that.
He likes it his way. We can't really working it too much.
No, well, that's good. But listen, we're glad to see that you're going to be coming back. You're progressing along. We can't wait for the season to start. So we really look forward to seeing you play this year, and we appreciate everything that you do with us.
Thank you so much, Greenie.
Cool. That's Colby. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Colby, that's Colby Maples from Cleveland State women's basketball team, and we look forward to this year and everything that these girls do. If you've never been down to a women's basketball game, no matter where that you live, you should check out the game. I mean, Kyle will tell you firsthand.
It's like one of Coach K's favorite things to say. He says this all the time. Go to one women's basketball game. If you don't like it, you never have to go back. But you're gonna like it. You're gonna be back a few times. And that's kind of what happened to me, to be honest. I kind of started talking to.
That's what you get.
I think I told this story when I was on with you guys before, but my entire thing started basically just interacting with one of the players on social media. I'm like, all right, I'll check out her game once in a while. I think this was during COVID, so I was just watching her games on TV, and it snowballs from there. And I think everybody, even Edskin's over here with tennis, and Coach Jeremy with lacrosse. I mean, anybody you get involved with CSU is just so phenomenal. It's an experience you're not going to get, if you only watch power conference teams and things like that. It's just this personal touch of being out here at Mitchell's and getting to talk to a D1 head coach and sit here eating ice cream.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, listen, it was terrific, and we appreciate everybody. We appreciate you coming out, Kyle. We appreciate Coach Kielsmeier, Colby Maples coming out, Mike Milbourn from Vintage Cardboard Collectibles, Joe W. from Phoenix Sports Cards. Haley is here with us. You can see that. So we appreciate it. We appreciate Mitchell's for having us, everybody at Cleveland State. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week from the National Sports Collectors Convention in Rosemont, Illinois. Thank you very much, and have a good night, everybody.